Welcome back, guys. I've been doing some playtesting just to try and figure out the transport capacity system and what effects it has on your GDP. So basically, it changes your actual GDP, not your growth. But it's been very difficult to actually pin down a formula for it. But during my playtesting, I worked out how much this should have been based off my growth, and I should be at a very similar amount to the Austro-Hungarian Empire, maybe about 90 to 100,000, and I'm only at 50,000 billion. Jesus Christ, billion. So yeah, I've got about half as much as I should have. So it's obviously making a pretty damn massive difference. But I haven't been able to pinpoint exactly any specific numbers. So whatever you do, don't let this drop below 100. Just keep it at max for the entire game. That's what I recommend. Also, they've changed the way that it works in terms of transport losses. So now, before, you only got transport loss monthly balance impact if you actually lost transports at the end of each turn, or if you refuse to do a convoy mission. When now, if you are below 100, you will take transport loss penalty every single turn. You can't recoup this until you go above 100%. So basically, I'm at minus 270 million, so I should be on 396 million at the moment. So obviously that's a gigantic difference. That's 2/3 of my monthly balances evaporated. So yeah, whatever you do, don't go below 100%. Once you start going above 100, this will start to drop, return back to 0. Okay, so that's what I've been doing. Basically, while I was doing this, I had the tech budget at 0 because I thought I'd combine this playtesting with a campaign challenge. The campaign challenge is, I started in 1890 and then I got to 1915, so halfway through the game, 25 years, without any tech. So what I wanted to do was to see if I could win the campaign, being 25 years behind in the tech race. So I've played 4 years while I've been building up a transport fleet and getting a transport torpedo boat fleet and getting the required research to make it potentially competitive. I don't know if it will be. I've also purchased 100 power projection ships just to force a war, basically. So they're all mothballed. I'm not actually intending on using them, they're just simply there to provoke enemy nations. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to attempt to try and win the game from 25 years behind in the tech race. So I've just started a war with the Italians, but I haven't actually fought any battles yet. So let's send some ships out. I think I'm going to maybe do them in groups of 40. I think 40 is probably a pretty decent amount. Yeah. So obviously I've got 700 of these transport ships, torpedo boats. My idea was to try and win the campaign without building any more ships and just try and refit all of these 700 ships. So yeah, it's a combined challenge. 25 years behind and not allowed to build any ships. So we'll see how we go. It could be an absolute disaster, it all depends on how good the enemy is at killing transport ships. Because I've been doing so much transport capacity playtesting, I can't take my mind off transport. Alright then, so once I've moved all of these out, interesting, I'm sending them from Hamburg and they go in this direction. So yeah, I can just send all of these out. 200 and yeah, so that's a sixth. So that's 16%. So that's 84. Oh, I can send it from a port. Usually you do it in reverse order when you're not sending it from a port because you can't select the group underneath. It would only highlight the group that you've just sent. But because I'm sending it from a port, I can still select the port. So 16%, then 20%. And 25%. $33. Oh, I've just thought they'll be going through the Gibraltar Strait, and so often when they go through there, they all combine. So I might end up having to do all this again. So I think I'll just leave it at that. I won't send the rest. And then if they do clump together going through this strait, I'll have to separate them all out again. So it looks like the Italians have got 41 battleships, 110 armoured cruisers, 132 light cruisers, 117 destroyers, and 105 torpedo boats. So they've got a lot of ships, not as many as the Austro-Hungarians. 936 ships. Jesus, 407 destroyers and 332 torpedo boats. That is going to take forever to kill, especially with torpedo boats. Oh my god, I'm regretting this decision already. I think I might have to build something to kill the screening ships, because these torpedo boats are specifically designed to take out capital ships. Right, yeah. Looks like they've all combined. 84, 80, 312. They all bloody combined as they were going round here and going through here. That's just really annoying. Anyway, we'll split them all up again in a minute. Oh no, if they're going to encounter missions, I'm going to have like 300 ships and stuff, so I'm not going to be able to play a battle with all them ships in the task force. What a pain in the arse the combining is. Oh, this looks like... I wish I could see how many's there. Oh my god, look at the size of the enemy task fleet. That's like 200 ships or something. Right, I'm going to auto-resolve to see if I can break that task fleet up. Because if you fight a battle against the task fleet, they return to port. Sometimes when they come back out of the port, they're not in such a large blob. Doesn't always work, but it's worth a try, because there's no way my computer's going to be able to handle 300 and something ships or whatever it'll be. That's the most I've ever seen. Never seen that many ships in a single task fleet before. But then again, I've never skipped the game for 25 years either. Well, that's more reasonable on their side, and I think it's just about reasonable. I might have 80 here, but that should be capable enough for my computer to be able to handle. So yeah, as I suspected, 2 of my task fleets combined and made 80. But their small amount of ships should offset that, make it at least somewhat playable. So this is going to be incredibly annoying to control. But what I can do, put them all in a follow line, and then I can just control one at a time. Normally what I'd do is just kamikaze them all straight at them with a screening order. But I want to see how they perform on a 1v1 basis, if they're just going to get splatted or not by the 1920 tech, because they quite possibly will. Okay, so they're all broken up. So let's set everybody onto aggressive, tell them to form up in a follow line. Being able to figure out who the front one is not going to be easy. There he is. That was easy. Now normally I'd turn the avoid off so they form up a bit quicker, but can't be bothered doing that 80 times. Ah, turn the wrong way. Yeah, there's no way I'm pressing 80 buttons and doing 80 mouse clicks just to turn the avoid off. Torpedo boats are pretty good at sorting themselves out. So once I've researched quadruple decks, I'm going to split these up, because at the moment, if one of the deck launchers gets taken out, I can lose all of my torpedoes straight away, which is obviously bad. Where if they're all split up into different categories, like triple deck, quadruple deck, that type of thing, then if you get one of the decks taken out, it only takes out a portion of your ammo stock, so you've still got at least some usable torpedoes. So you can see the tactic I'm going to be going for when I'm against more ships, which is just basically saturating the whole sea in hundreds of torpedoes. So if I've got 40 ships, when I break them up obviously, I've got 12 torpedoes on each one. I'm going to have 600 torpedoes to fire at them. So that is the plan. Obviously in these small encounters, the saturating fire tactic is not going to be quite so effective, because the ships are not clumped up so they can easily evade. So for this saturated fire tactic, it would be better if I had electric torpedoes rather than fast, and longer range as well when I'm against a larger fleet, so I don't have to get so close. But obviously I haven't got the tech quite yet. So I'm investing all of my research into why fire at him when you've got a battleship in front of you? I mean, he hit him, so so that's good, but that's just dumb. I suppose it's an armoured cruiser, so I'll take it. But yeah, I'm putting all of my research into the torpedoes, because obviously that's my only hope of competing while being 25 years behind in the tech. The only chance I've got is torpedoes. I'm definitely not going to be winning any gun battles. So once I've taken out this armoured cruiser, I've obviously got loads of ships left to fire torpedoes at the battleship, so I'm not bothered about wasting a few rounds on this armoured cruiser. This is a little bit annoying at how bad they are at aiming, but that'll improve with technology. So it's not an exciting battle obviously, but this is just more of a trial run. Getting ready for a doom stack encounter. But they've handled themselves quite well. I don't think any of them have got sunk in a 1v1 approach. So I'm quite happy about that. Gives me at least some hope that I might be able to survive a doom stack. I'll probably lose all my torpedo boats, but the key is victory points. I'm not going to lose many victory points from losing torpedoes. They're going to lose a hell of a lot if I get some decent blanket fires on them. So yeah, the spread of the torpedoes at the moment, because the accuracy is bad, the spread is way too high at the moment. It's annoying how there's always one tube that doesn't want to fire. Still hasn't fired now. Looks like I've taken some flak here. Unfortunately, he doesn't want to fire his torpedoes. For some reason, I don't know why, but when a ship gets damaged, well, I might know why, but when a ship gets damaged, you don't fire the torpedoes. I think it's because of the damage instability accuracy modifier, which is a bit weird having the accuracy modifier without it actually having an accuracy modifier on the actual gun. So it makes you think that it's irrelevant, but I'm 90% sure that it is relevant, because the amount of times I've been in a perfect position to fire, but the ship's been crippled and it just won't fire. Even if it's not moving and it's just sitting right next to a ship, it just won't fire. So yeah, I'm pretty damn certain it's got something to do with the damage and stability. I was able to get relatively close until I got shot then. So it's quite promising. Can't remember what I was going to say. Oh, this would be a better situation to have your ships on a screening orbit. So they're all kind of close together. Where in a line or order like this, you're basically just feeding them one by one, which is not so bad in a one-on-one situation. It would be pretty terrible if you were facing an entire Doom stack though. So is he crippled? Yeah. So yeah, when I face Doom stacks, I'm gonna be in a bit of a precarious situation. Because my torpedo range is not very high. So I basically need to use the screen order to get close enough to be able to fire before dying until I research some better propulsion. So I'm going to take a hell of a lot of damage. I'm going to lose a ridiculous amount of torpedo boats until I get some better propulsion, but I don't want to just sit in port waiting for my research to build up. Kind of defeats the point of trying to win with a 25-year deficit if all I'm going to do is sit in port and research. But we're sinking a few ships, so we're getting the job done. Well, lined up perfectly for a huge torpedo salvo, and he sunk. So the good thing with torpedo boats is they've got really good speed, 32 knots practically, and they're dirt cheap. So being able to chase ships down with dirt cheap ships. Let's have a look. 1.1 million. Oh, he's firing them at the bloody destroyer, idiot. So 1.1 million versus 8.1 million, and the destroyer is 1.8. So I'm not much cheaper than the destroyers, but obviously I've got a huge payload compared to their destroyers. But being 8 times cheaper than the armoured cruiser is obviously good. I'm surprised I'm only 8 times cheaper, if I'm completely honest, but it's still quite a lot cheaper. Annoyingly, I've just spent an entire salvo on a ship that was already sinking. But it didn't look like it was about to sink, as it got reduced bulkheads. Maximum bulkheads, okay. A bit odd. Where are these ships getting sunk? Is there a... Looks like there's a ship over here killing all my torpedo boats. Which is a bit of an issue because none of these have got torpedoes remaining. So they're all in a precarious situation here. He's got torpedoes. I'm not sure what's going on over here. Is one of these crippled, holding the line up? I'll have to come back and deal with that in a minute. Alright, that's him dealt with. Alright, let's see if I can find out what the problem is here. Oh, he just got stuck because of the avoid ships. Well, even without me micromanaging, he still managed to land his salvo. Well, it's rather hard to tell which side is the front of this ship here, because they look almost exactly the same, them towers do. Looks like that's the front tower. Bit of a premature release, but I'll do a closer range one with this ship if he isn't already sinking. He's very close to being sunk. Yeah. I believe they're about in that direction. unless I'm mistaken. They very kindly alerted me to their location. I honestly can't remember what's left, if these are all destroyers or light cruisers. Well, in small encounters, even with 25 years later tech, I've still got the upper hand over them, which is just bonkers. But in large encounters, I'm gonna struggle. But this is very similar to real life, with torpedo boats instead of submarines, with the Germans, with the wolf packs. Although I don't think they did it with 80 of them. Bit of a premature release again. Well, there's gunfire coming from over there, so I'll head in that direction, see if I can find it. Looks like he's quite close. You can't have missed with all bloody 9 of them torpedoes. God, you're useless. Well, he's close to sinking. See if I can land these last few on him. Yeah, he's sunk. Oh no. Friendly fire. What are you doing shooting from that distance? Are they shooting at this? Armoured cruiser. Getting a bit of collateral damage. Yeah, with long range torpedoes against doom stacks, I've got a high chance of doing insane amounts of damage to them. So I lined it up nicely to get a collateral fire. Managed to sink two in one salvo. I think they've got 2 ships left, but they might only have 1. One's over here somewhere. I thought there was one over here, but I might be imagining that. Once again, he very generously alerted me to his location. I could use the retreat button to find him. Obviously, you know that he's in the opposite direction to where the retreat button's sending you, but no need. Yeah, there was 2. I thought there was. Hopefully, he's not too damaged to release his load. Go on, fire, fire, fire! Oh, just in time. Thank you. I was a bit concerned he'd take that torpedo before he fired. I'm fine swapping torpedo boats for light cruisers. Although they are dirt cheap, they're obviously really old ones. I still don't mind. I want to get rid of them, and I assume that I'll score more victory points. It's an armoured cruiser, nice. Yeah, I assume I'll get more victory points for sinking a light cruiser than I will for losing a torpedo boat, but it doesn't always work that way. Ouch, got me. Ouch, he really got me. He only fired 3 torpedoes. What's he doing? He wants to fire them all behind him instead. Suits me. Well, it appears as if there's another ship left, but I think I'm happy with the results there. I think it's only a destroyer that's left. So we sunk 14, we got 3,500, we lost 6, lost 700. So that's pretty damn good. Right, well, I think I'll call it a day for this episode, guys. So cheers for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.